And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I'm net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best-sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature, philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. And you'll have to check it out and subscribe. Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. In addition, 2 of the 3 may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog page, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters, and through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Charlie, got a copy? Yes, Jim, I sure do. You're running right now, peaking in S9, dropping to 6, and it's mostly clear out, partly cloudy, and temperature is 72 degrees. That's the normal high, 72 degrees. A very, very nice day. Humidity is fairly low. Hope you copy KC9VKV, K1GZL. I assume Milford would be better.
Yes, sir. 25 over on Milford as we speak.
25 over on Milford as we speak. Okay, I do have Captain Mike on here. This is recorded a little over a week ago. He's north of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Then I pick him up near Chicago. Let's see if I've got it working. This is K1GZL.
Katie, I haven't heard Katie yet, but we're just about 45 miles north of Cheyenne, Wyoming right now at 35,000. So, nice morning. How's everything out in Hampshire? K1GZL, KX4 Whiskey Charlie. KX4 Whiskey Charlie, right over Rockford right now, Charlie. It's 35, about to go up to 37 here. We're showing 500 knots and 690 miles or so, 696 from Philadelphia. Still arriving there right around 2 o'clock there, so good copy on you there. You're 5 plus. Minus 50 degrees up here today. K1GZL, KX4 Whiskey Charlie. Right on the shoreline right now, coming up over Highland Park and Lake Forest. So we're just about to go overhead into the waters of Lake Michigan. And this track puts us just on the very northern tip of Benton Harbor, Michigan. So anyway, all right, Charlie, well, I'll be listening for you there tonight, see if Norm, AC3GD might be on, and I'm hoping Craig will be on there so we can confirm whether they're going to be racing this weekend in Bridgeport. So we'll see how that goes and see if he's going to be out there on the track on Saturday. But good picking me up there. We're right now right over the water. K1GZL, KX4 Whiskey Charlie.
Okay, there it is. He does an amazing job, and he sounds exactly the same when he's home in Southwest Virginia when when the propagation is good. Hope you copied that okay, and your that last transmission you were very Q5 KC9VKV K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Copied fine through Milford. Like I say, you were 25 to 30 over on Milford consistently, so no problem copying the mail, Roger.
No problem copying the mail, Roger.
Roger there, and yeah, I'm glad it's when Milford's working. Those SDRs are great. I don't have that capability here, unfortunately. Okay, Jim, look, I'll be quite a few stations that would like to test their rigs and also new equipment with your expertise on help. Catch you hopefully next Friday, and we'll hope that propagation will be okay. KC9VKV K1GZL, Charlie in northern New Hampshire on the Quebec border at Clarksville, signing clear, and good copy right now, Jim.
Roger, Charlie, 73 up that way, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. Thanks for opening our show up. Always appreciate that. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim. I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. We're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series, regardless of what YouTube says, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature, philosophical kinds of QSOs. You'll have to check it out. KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9VKV WA8OPR, WA8OPR.
Station OPR, come back with your call sign slowly phonetically again.
Whiskey America 8, Ontario Pacific Rome, WA8OPR.
Roger, OPR. What's the name there?
Right, back to you.
Roger, OPR. What's the name there?
Terry, over.
Roger, Terry. And whereabouts, I know I should know where you are, but where are you?
Farmington, Michigan, suburb of Detroit. Back to you, Jim.
Roger, Terry, Michigan. And what radio are you running?
Roger, Terry, Michigan. And what radio are you running?
That was the reason for contacting you today. Icon 7000, small little rig, and 170-foot end-fed wire. You are 5x9 plus 10 here, Jim. Over.
Roger, Terry. Okay, let's see. First, we would, if you're interested in that setup, double check to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandpass mode, 100 to 2900 or thereabouts.
100 to 2900 or thereabouts.
Yeah, as far as I know, I am. Back to you, Jim.
All right, you might check that. You know, sometimes things happen and things get moved around. So every once in a while, it behooves one to check to be sure they are operating in that wide transmit bandpass, 100 to 2900. All right, so then after that, on a setup procedure, compressor on, and out of 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, Roger?
And out of 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, Roger?
Compressor off. Let's see. I don't know what my signal report is to where you are, Jim. But we are running 100 watts. So I would also like a signal report, if possible, with 10 to 15 over here. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Well, I've got you on Milford, and you're likely to be about 15 over on Milford. You sound like you might be just a little warm into your ALC. That's why I wanted to double-check the compressor on and the level at 3 or 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Is that Roger?
10 or 30 out of 100. Is that Roger?
Yeah, you know, I very seldom use this rig. I'm not even sure where to find compression. Hold on just a minute. Just a minute. Oh, there's compression. Okay, that's way too much. So we're not going to do that. Oh, shoot.
Station, the frequency is in use.
Oh, compression. Oh, there it is. All right, there's extremely low compression.
Do you have numbers on that? Can you give me a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100?
On that, can you give me a 3 out of 10?
Okay, it's off.
Out of 100?
All right, I hope you can copy that, Jim. Back to you.
Okay, so compressor on and a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
Compressor on and a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
I'm not sure what that means, 3 out of 10, etc. Over.
Okay, if your compressor input level is 0 to 10, we want a 3. If it's 0 to 100, we want a 30, Roger?
If it's 0 to 100, we want 30, Roger?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, with this little amplifier I'm running, it won't allow me to do that. So, unfortunately, this is all I can do right now, Jim. Over.
Roger. Well, I'm saying, we can also reduce that to a clock at, like 9:30 or something like that. We just want a third of that compressor on, Roger?
Something like that. We just want a third of that compressor on, Roger?
All right, I'll have to turn the amplifier off. Hold on.
Station whistling, please. This is a frequency in use.
Please, this is a frequency in use.
All right. Okay, Jim, we're only running 100 watts. No, we're not even doing that. We're only running 45 watts. Back to you.
Gosh, Terry, I mean, this would have nothing to do actually with the output. We're talking about the compression input level. In other words, we just want a tad amount of compression. You can run your output like normal. But on the input, on the compressor input, we just want just a tad of compression, Roger?
Input, we just want just a tad of compression, Roger?
Roger that. I'll try again. Hold on. Okay. I can't get it down, Jim. I just can't get it down. There's a minimal compression. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Just barely on. Just crack that. Just barely. That's all. All right, now let's move to your end. It's such a slight amount, we could probably do without it. I mean, just in the scheme of things, it works, but it's no big thing. But if you've got it under control there, just a small amount, that's all we need. Move on to the ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word, audio, stretching the A, not stressing the word necessarily, just saying the word, but stretching the audio. Set your mic gain to where your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Meter is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Roger, Jim. Hold on. All right, there's, I think, the proper audio. I hope that works. So, audio. KC9VKV, over.
Roger, let's do something else. What is your current mic gain, your actual mic gain setting? What is it?
Actual mic gain setting. What is it?
20%.
All right, dump it to 15, bring it back to 15. You sound like you're still hot, so bring it back to 15.
Still hot, so bring it back to 15.
Okay, there's 15. That may be too hot. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's cleaner. And your microphone, is that, that's a desk mic, Roger?
That's a desk mic, Roger.
Yeah, it's electrolytic, so I can control the output. Well, that's probably what's causing it too. It's a ICOM SM8, over.
Yeah, I would just back up. I would just back off of it about an inch, more than where you are, just about an inch more back from the mic and try that.
From the mic and try that.
Okay, we're backed off. We got the mic gain at 11%. So I don't know what else to say, Jim. Back to you.
Yes, sir. That looks like 3 dB. That's where we're looking to be, a 3 dB dynamic range. Roger, Roger.
3 dB dynamic range. Roger, Roger.
Well, thank you. All right, and then I know where to set this. I appreciate that. Appreciate your help, Jim. KC9VKV, W88OPR.
Roger, Roger. Now, why don't you tell me in 10 seconds the thing you like best about your radio, and let me look around and see if I can get to my local antenna with you, Roger.
If I can get to my local antenna with you, Roger.
Oh, okay. Probably just the antennas. I run two 170-footers. 10 feds, one north-south and one east-west. And right now I'm on the north-south antenna, Jim, so I hope that's enough time. Back to you.
Roger, Terry, just fine. Somebody just lacks all kinds of manners. Please do not key and, interrupt the conversation in progress. It's not nice. It just shows no manners, Do not operate on when a frequency is in use. Anyway, Terry, I got on my local antenna, my local radio, and you're good down to 100 cycles. You have a nice broad curve on that radio, Roger.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's a little bitty radio, but I don't think I'll ever sell it. But it has a lot of nice features. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. It'll take you right to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Thank you, Jim. Do appreciate it. Have a good day. You've got a wonderful service. It's the first time I've ever had this time I've ever checked out. I'm sure there's many other people wanting to check in, so I'll say 73s to you. Back to you.
Roger, Roger, Terry, 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilowatt, Foxtrot, 3 Delta Julia.
And 0 KMEO.
Roger, Kilowatt Foxtrot 3, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Kilowatt, Foxtrot, 3 Delta Juliet, KF3 disc jockey.
Roger, Roger, disc jockey, and what's the name there?
Disc jockey, and what's the name there?
Name here is Ron, Romeo, Oscar, November. Been a broadcaster since 1963. Thanks for your job. Thanks for your...
Roger, Roger, Ron. Well, we have our normal inconsiderate folks. I'm not sure I would call them amateur radio operators, because a normal amateur radio operator is very conscious of not keying on folks and causing interference in other folks' QSOs. So that's why I wonder if these folks are actually licensed. There seem to be not very, very nice folks, and they interfere with my free speech, and I don't appreciate that. I think that you should go elsewhere, folks, please. Anyway, Ron, where are you, sir?
Ron, where are you, sir?
I'm located in Columbus, Pennsylvania. Columbus, PA is about 30 miles southeast of the city of Erie, in the northwestern corner of Pennsylvania. Jim, I'm running a real rare radio. This is an ICOM IC729, 729er. The radio is actually the factory demonstrator from back in 1992. It's a real plain Jane. It's too much, doesn't have too much
in the way of audio adjustments or anything like that. So I just thought I would run it by an old pro to find out what you thought about it. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, it's upper mids, a lot of upper mids, but it's very intelligible. You're running about 3 dB dynamic range, which means that your mod level is just perfect there. And like I say, your curve is upper mids a lot, but I'm assuming that radio does not have any onboard EQ, and it is highly articulated, so you can understand it well. Roger.
Roger that. I've got just a small amount, maybe 25% compression, and I'm running an SM6 desk mic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that compressor, we normally say a 3 on the compressor, and then move to your ALC just to double check that your modulation level is right in line there. So with mic gain in hand and looking at your ALC meter, and as you say the magic word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Yep, done that, and it appears that it is. I'm going to let you go, Jim. Enjoy what you're doing. Appreciate the help. KC9 Victor, Kilo Victor, KF3 DJ.
Roger, Roger, Ron. And if you want to hear that fine radio, if you go to YouTube and call it a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So YouTube search KC9VKV logbook. Roger?
9VKV logbook. Roger? Roger that, Jim. Thanks again. KF3DJ out.
Roger, Roger, Ron 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 9, X-ray, Quebec.
Whiskey 9, X-ray, Quebec. And what's the name there?
Quebec. And what's the name there? The name is Mark. It's Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie, and I'm in southwestern Indiana.
Roger, Mark, and give me that location again.
Southwestern Indiana.
Roger, Roger, Mark, and what radio are you running today, sir?
In the county, in Warren County, Indiana.
I'm sorry, Mark, I think we doubled. And what radio are you running today, sir?
I am running the Anon 7000 BLE MK2.
Roger that. And why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us.
Okay, very good.
I got it off of the internet. It's they call it the W5GI mystery antenna, and it's up after the apex. It's at about 50 feet, and it's kind of in an inverted V and drops down to approximately it's about 25 feet on one end, and probably about 20 feet on the other end. It's you know how it is whenever you only have certain number of trees and you can only go certain directions. So that's kind of the situation I'm in. Over.
Roger, Roger, Mike. Or Mark, I'm sorry. I have for you on my local antenna, you have a very, very full bottom end EQ. I would suggest maybe not quite so deep into that 100 cycle area. Maybe I would take off 2 clicks bass roll at 100 cycles, minus 2 clicks roll out at 100 cycles from where you are. Roger?
Okay, there. See if that's any better. I did drop it down a little bit, and that's really at about 120 on the 125 cycles.
Right. I guess the next one is somewhere around 60.
Yes, that is right.
All right. Why don't you dump 2 off 60 also?
Okay, there's 2 off of 60.
I think that's a lot better. And be sure that your EQ from, say, 600 cycles through 1.2, 1.4, that they're flat, where they want to be plus or minus a 0. So we have a nice flat mid-range. Roger?
Okay, see how that is. They are set flat there right now.
I think that sounds pretty good. Now, tell me in 10 seconds what you like best about your radio, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Well, I'll tell you, I've had this one on for, I think I got it May of last year. And I'll tell you, radio's very nice. I also have an Icon 7300 that I don't use very much. I use it remotely. I don't use the non-remotely. I'll tell you, this Anon, it just has so many features. The audio is fantastic. The noise reduction and noise blanker in it are just unbelievable. And when those don't work and you have QRM, the diversity really takes noise out of there, which are some of the best features of this radio as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir. It sounds really good. And I looked around some of the other SDRs, and I'm not really getting anything good off those. So I'm just stayed on my local antenna, and you're probably about 8 to 10 over on my local receiver. Roger?
Roger, you're 10 to 20 over here on my end, and I'm running just about 350 watts here right now.
Yes, sir. Well, today's not a real good day. I keep threatening to move this operation to in the evening hours. See if propagation might be a little bit better there, but so far we're still trudging away here at 3:30 till 5 on this frequency. Roger.
Oh, Roger on that. Well, I'll tell you, I do have a good copy on you, and I heard you in here, I don't know, it's probably been 3 or 4 months ago, and I don't get on 40 meters that often, and I was kind of looking up and down the dial, and I heard you in there, and I thought, I remember hearing you talk, and I couldn't get in the time before, and I thought, well, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to get in here and see what you think about the audio. It's W9XQ.
Roger. Well, the whole thing about audio is, if you have a bunch on the bottom side, you need to balance that with a reciprocal amount on the top side, and all that should relate to a nice curve, considering the mid-range. So I think you've got a nice curve there, well balanced all the way across. And like I say, I get some comings and goings on the propagation, and it's not exactly what I would like, and that's the other thing that you need to consider when you do run a bunch in the bottom end. If you're working in less than ideal conditions, that bottom end sometimes can get in the way of perception of words, because bad situations where you have phase cancellations going on, and your signal is being bent from maybe 2 places in the ether, and they're slightly distant between each other, and one comes down out of phase with the other, and the first thing that happens is that phase cancellation occurs because one is out of 180 degrees out of phase with the other, and it always starts from the top and works its way down. So the first thing you lose in phase cancellation is the top end of your signal. And if you have all of this bottom and you lose the top, then you become Mr. Mumbles. Roger?
Roger on that. I see exactly what you mean, because I've heard many people where they sound pretty muddy and everything because they seem like they've got a little bit too much on the bottom end, and that's definitely what I wanted to avoid. with my voice is not, it's not, definitely not a real good radio voice as far as that goes, but I get a little bit hoarse the more I talk, and that's, I've been that way for many, many years, and now that I'm 70 years old, it makes it that much worse. Over.
Roger that, Mark. We have a spectrum analyzer on the set that is looking at audio all the time. It's been looking at your audio, and just in a word of explanation on that spectrum analyzer, it has 3 white marks, and the furthest one to the left denotes 100 cycles. As you work out to the right, the first one is 1 kc, then there's a blank spot, which is 2 kc, and the next white mark is 4 kc. So when you go and look at your audio, if you do, then you can see the spectrum analyzer, and also there's a chevron on the right side of my screen that will show you where I am. As far as audio input, and mainly I've been on the 7300, which is flat down to 100 cycles, and so when you look at your signal there, you're seeing all the way pretty well clean down to 100 cycles. Roger?
Oh, Roger on that there, Jim. I do appreciate it. Okay, I'll let you go, because I'm sure there are other people who would like to have you kind of critique what they're doing as far as audio and help them out a little bit. I do appreciate you coming back to me, and you have a wonderful afternoon. So, like I say, thanks for picking up with you. KC9VKV, Whiskey 9, X-ray, Quebec.
Roger, Mark 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. From now until 5, we record live. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor Echo 3, Delta Uniform.
Victor Echo 3 station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Victor Echo 3, Delta Uniform.
Delta Uniform, Roger. What's the name there?
My name is Ray Romeo Alpha Yankee. We've talked before.
You did my 7300, then you did my 7610. Now I'm here with my 7610 with an amplifier that I'm running at 400 watts currently. Back to you.
Yes, sir, Ray. And whereabouts are you located, sir?
Yes, sir, Ray. And whereabouts are you located, sir?
Jim, the conditions are pretty crappy up right now, especially in my latitude here.
Roger. Well, I'm pushing about all I can push at the moment, Ray. I'm sorry the conditions are so bad. Maybe we can work through them. What is your location, sir?
What is your location, sir?
I'm in Blue Mountain, Ontario, on southern Georgian Bay. That's about 80 to 90 miles northwest of Toronto. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, sir. Okay, if you're interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you being sure that you're in the transmit bandpass mode wide transmit bandpass mode. That's 100 to 2900, Roger?
100 to 2900, Roger.
Roger. I'm set up wide right now. Back to you.
Oh, good. Okay, then move to your compressor on, and a 3 out of 10 and 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled there. We just want about a third of that compressor. So compressor on, and a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
And a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger.
Roger. We put 3 out of 10 on it now. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Okay, move to your ALC now with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, say it, but don't stress it, any harder than you would a normal word in a QSO. And with mic gain in hand, as you say the word audio, adjust your ALC level for mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
ALC level for mid-scale to 2/3, Roger.
Roger. Audio.
Does that look good?
I got a little bit confused here. I pressed, this thing's got so much stuff on it. I keep pressing the wrong buttons.
Roger. Okay. So bring up your ALC meter, and as you transfer it and say audio, you have mic gain that you adjust to make that ALC meter read the mid-scale to 2/3.
Read the mid-scale to 2/3. Roger. Audio. I'm not sure. Does it sound any better?
Yes, sir. You look to have about a 3 dB dynamic range, and that's what that whole thing is designed to do, is to get your audio into that 3 dB dynamic range mode, which is a nice compromise. You can get fatter, but the problem is if you get fatter than where we are, your words start to blur. Well, they do blow. They blur. And that does not help your intelligibility. So we want fat words, loud words, but clean words, so they are easily understood. And that's where we are at the moment. We could move to your onboard equalization page for a moment, if you would like.
Equalization page for a moment, if you would like. Jim, you're starting to fade in and out here. Okay, I'm on the equalization page there.
All righty. Why don't you tell me about 10 seconds about your antenna system, and let me hear you there and see what we need to do.
Jim, can you repeat that again?
Roger, why don't you tell me in 10 seconds about your antenna system so I can hear your audio, Roger?
Your antenna system so I can hear your audio, Roger? Roger. I'm using a dipole. Currently it's 40
feet in height. It's 135 feet long with a 30 to 70 ratio with a 4
to a 1-to-1 balance into LMR 400 coax, about 80 feet of it. Back to you, Jim.
Roger. Okay, so what we need is about 2 clicks additional treble EQ boost. 2 clicks boost treble EQ on that 7610, Roger?
On that 7610, Roger? Roger, I'll give it. Okay, I gave it the treble 2 clicks.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's go to this. You have a button on that radio called Quick, and I want you to hit Quick and tell me what you have on drive.
Okay, the drive gain is set at 65%.
Yes, sir. That's exactly where we usually set it. So that's fine. I think you're in good shape if you want to hear your audio. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. This will be cut number 1 in a series of over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger? Roger, thank you very much. You've got 2 recordings of me from before, and I've listened to them many times over again, and I'll be looking forward to the next recording. Jim, it's been a pleasure talking with you again. Back to you. Roger, Ray. 73 up that way, sir. Thanks for dropping by. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you want to check out, give me a shout. Kilo Romeo 4, November Charlie.
Kilo Romeo 4 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
4 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign. Okay, that's Kilo Romeo 4, November Charlie. Kilo Radio 4, North Carolina.
Roger, November Charlie, and what's the name there?
Roger, November Charlie, and what's the name there?
My name is Mike in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Let me get your call again and your handle. Go ahead.
Roger, call is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Your name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we are located around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
The side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Okay, so you're not having any floods out your way, I hope. Go ahead.
It's not what? I repeat.
Is that what I repeat?
Not having any floods out your way?
No. It's mainly in the eastern part of the state that they're having some floods. In the mountainous areas, I do have what's called a knobs in back of me. It's about 500 or 600 feet high, which could represent some flooding, but there's irrigation channeling is really good around here, so we don't have a lot of flooding like they do in the eastern part of the Kentucky and Tennessee. Roger.
Kentucky and Tennessee. Roger.
Yeah, okay. Are you hearing me okay? I was wondering if you're having a little problem picking me up. You're fine. You're about a 5'8".
I just switched to SDRs, and I've got a much better signal on you now than I did. So if you would be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you making sure you're in the 100 to 2900 bandpass, transmit bandpass mode, the wide mode usually referred to, 100 to 2900, Roger.
Usually referred to 100 to 2900, Roger.
I don't know about that. By the way, you're a 5'9" now. Let me see how I can narrow the band here. Well, I don't think I'm going to figure that out right here at the moment. So let me just take a look here. I'll think about where it is right now. How am I sounding? Go ahead.
Well, that's, the bandpass setting has a lot to do with the way you sound. If you're running less than 2900, then your top end of your audio starts to dive, directly related to the frequency declination. So there's a difference of audio in the top end when you go 2800, 2700, 2600, 2500, whatever. So the thing is, just at this point, make a note to yourself to double check your transmit bandpass mode, and you want to be in the 100 to 2900. So we can move along if you would like now. Our setup starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor attenuation is noted. If it's 0 to 10, you want it on a 3. If it's 0 to 100, you want it on 30. Roger?
3. If it's 0 to 100, you want it on 30. Roger?
Okay, the bandwidth here a little bit. I'm going to try that going ahead. Bandwidth here a little bit. I'm going to try that going ahead starting right now. Okay, is that any improvement?
Where did you go? What did you do?
Where did you go? What did you do?
I just went to just a button that says narrow bandwidth 1 and then there's narrow 2. It doesn't have an actual reading here for me.
Oh, do you have one that says wide?
Oh, do you have one that says wide?
Do I have one that says what?
Wide, W-I-D-E, wide, or maybe if you don't select narrow 1 or 2, maybe it would default to wide. Roger?
Narrow 1 or 2, it would default to wide. Roger?
So I can do that. All the years I've been doing this, nobody's ever mentioned this to me. So I do have a number of controls here and dials for bandwidth and for let's see what else I got here. No, I'm stuck about where I am right now. I'm put up with it. So, can you read me okay?
Yeah, I've got you. I'm copying you now on Rochester SDR, and you're about 8 over there. So I got a pretty good copy at the moment. I would say, what happens if you didn't select 1 or 2 of those narrows, just did not select a narrow? Would it probably default to a wide, wouldn't you think?
Not select a narrow. Would it probably default to a wide, wouldn't you think?
Well, let's take a look and see. I think that's where we are now, so how's that?
Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's better. So let's move on with our setup. Again, that compressor needs to be on, and depending on how it's labeled, a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. Roger?
10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. Roger?
Okay, yeah. I may have an extra class license, but there's a lot of stuff I still have not figured out yet, so not at all familiar with some stuff here. I was good at taking tests, and that's about where we are. So forgive me, I don't know if my rig actually has that kind of, I have a Yaesu FT 1000 MP Mark V, and I don't know if that has that kind of readouts here, so I'd have to take a look and go back to my manual and see if I can figure that out.
Roger, can you bring your compressor up, and what does it say when you bring your compressor up?
Roger, can you bring your compressor up, and what does it say when you bring your compressor up?
All right, let's see what I got here. Okay, how are we doing now?
I think you might be too much. Let me just give you a note on that. Note to self, you want to find your compressor on and adjusted to a third of its capabilities. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Just a third of its capabilities. Roger?
3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Just a third of its capabilities. Roger?
Let me write this down here, Jim. Okay, so adjust the compressor to 1/3. Is that sort of like an optimal setting?
All right, so now let's move to your ALC with mic in hand. Mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, just say the word, don't stress it, just say it, stretch the A, audio. As you say that word, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3.
ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3.
Adios. Okay, I'm looking at the compressor now. We're about 50%, I think. Go ahead.
All right, do me a favor. Just key your mic. Don't say anything. Just key your mic for about 3 seconds and then back off.
Yeah, don't say anything. Just key your mic for about 3 seconds and then back off.
Yeah, can you just take your compressor out? Just dump your compressor off, Roger?
Just dump your compressor off, Roger?
You know, I think it was off. I turned it on. So the compressor's off now.
Key your mic and don't say anything for 3 seconds and let me look at you.
Key your mic and don't say anything for 3 seconds and let me look at you.
Yeah, it's better. I think you actually turned it off. It doesn't seem to be quite as pumpy now as it was. So anyway, double check now. Go back to your ALC with mic gain in hand. Double check your level, audio, and you want mid scale to 2/3. And it's important that it be that 2/3. It's just a little bit past mid scale. Roger.
That 2/3. It's just a little bit past mid scale. Roger.
Okay, should I say audio again?
Well, you could say audio. You could audio, and just the best way is just to say it as you would say the word in a normal QSO, Roger.
Just to say it as you would say the word in a normal QSO, Roger.
Okay, audio. Audio, my friend.
Yes, sir. And there's a little bit of noise on your L Michael there. I'm assuming that's a desk mic, Roger?
There's a little bit of noise on your L Michael there. I'm assuming that's a desk mic, Roger?
Yeah, it's a hand mic.
Well, gosh, it's pretty noisy. Let me give you a suggestion on using that hand mic. Would be to pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. That would probably minimize the noise and your in-mouth noise too, Roger?
Would probably minimize the noise and your in-mouth noise too, Roger?
sound.
I'm sorry, I was just moving SDRs. Repeat.
I'm sorry, I was just moving SDRs. Repeat.
Okay, we're trying it again.
Roger, Roger. It is noisy. You might try a little less aggressive transmit key, a little softer, because it does cut through as a clank kind of, Roger.
Because it does cut through as a clank kind of, Roger.
How about if I turn up the processor a bit?
No. That would only make it worse.
No. That would only make it worse.
Well, all right. Okay. So this is the best we can do right now. How about that?
Yeah, so why don't you give me 10 and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio there.
Best thing you like about your radio there.
Okay, now the processor is off. You read me okay?
Oh, hey, yeah, I do. And I think you actually turned the processor off this time. So let's just leave the processor off. Now I want you to go back to your ALC and double check your ALC level now that you've got the processor out, Roger.
You've got the processor out, Roger.
Okay, yeah. It was running 30 to 50%.
Yeah, you sound a lot better with that compressor out. I think it's too hot. So maybe you can find a lesser evil in it, but as it stands, it was just too hot. Makes you sound like you're up against the wall. Ready, Roger?
Against the wall, ready? Roger.
Well, I am hot because it's 93 degrees in the shack right now, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to last. Hang on a second. The XYL is here with a message for me. Hang on. What's up? Oh, she just came by and listening to seeing what I'm up to. Okay. Sorry about my rig. My rig is a Yaesu Mark V FT1000 MP. It is running 200 watts barefoot. The only antenna I have is a 200-foot run on RG8X cable up to about 45 feet up in the big oak tree out in the back. I got HOA restrictions, but they can't find it, and half the time I can't see it when I'm looking for it. And I know people say, oh, RG8X, no, that's too far. Well with it, get plenty of DX. And I don't think I'd want to run RG8 cabled up. I'd want to run DX. I don't know anyhow, because it's just too heavy and it gets too windy here in North Carolina. I'm sure it does in North Dakota too. And I'm sorry, Kentucky. My last Qso was North Dakota. Never mind. Yeah, it gets plenty windy everywhere. So, and that's about it. I'm going to go inside the house pretty soon here because I'm starting to sweat through my T-shirt. So it's a little warm. It was 91 when I came out. Now it's 93. So quite enough for today. Hey Jim, thanks for all the tips. I'm going to look things up here and get reacquainted with my manual here. So I ought to do those. I've had this rig now for 20 some years. So 15 to 20. I can't remember exactly how many. But anyhow, I have a tuner going. I have it tuned up right now. Higher on the band, I can run. This is a what do you call it? A fan dipole. So I have the 40 and the 20 and the 80 on it. That's all I've ever used. And the wires are cheap. Get them high up in the tree. Yeah, there's plenty of DX when the conditions are right. So we're good. And that's where we're going here. Anyhow, so it's 200 watts. So what about your rig? I didn't ask. Go ahead.
Roger, well, this is, I've got a couple of radios that I use. This is the 7300. We've been using it for the past 3 weeks. Then homemade condenser microphone into an ART preamp, into a little EQ, and then into the 7300, and then up to a resonant dipole antenna. And I can't say enough about resonant dipole antennas because you can just come right out of your radio right into the antenna, no tuner, no sweat. Roger?
Tuner, no sweat, Roger.
Yeah, well, it's not resonant on all ends of the band, but on 20 meters it's pretty resonant, and I'm getting under a 1.2, 1.3 SWR. On the 40 it varies. Up the upper end of the band is pretty good. I got to probably pretty much run the tuner as I'm doing right now at the lower end of the band. Yes, that I have the tuner going now. So there's that. So yeah, I try not to use the tuner if I don't have to. And the 80's pretty resonant, but it's not. I don't get a lot of DX with the 80. It's not up high enough. Get the local nets at night. Nothing too much interesting going on there. So same guys all the time, and I just. I don't want to spend 2 or 3 hours talking to the same guys every night. I don't do 80 meters very much anymore. Next time the antenna falls out of the tree, I'll put it back up without the 80 probably. But while it's up there, I'll still use it. So there we go. And how much power did you say you're running? Go ahead.
We're running SB220, so we're running right out of kilowatt. And, on that fan dipole, you can run those elements they don't have to be in line with each other. They can be at all kinds of different angles, and as a matter of fact, at different angles they don't interact with each other as much as they do when they're all under each other. Roger?
Where they're all under each other, Roger?
Yeah, well, because it's kind of these branches up in the trees, there's a lot of oak trees in the back here, and it's pretty wooded. And it's hard enough to get the balun. Hard enough to get the balun with the cable up there with the wires on it, but then to free up the wires and get they don't get all perfectly well. A couple of branches. Well, and the 80, I just kind of wrap it around whatever branches because I can't get it straight out to the end of the property. I have to bend it. Yeah, it works just fine, I think. There's that. Yeah, I've been a ham now for this is 20 years now, and I've never used. Well, I'm sorry, I have used stuff like I've used. I have a super antenna, the screwdriver antenna, and when I first got my ham ticket, I lived in a different kind of house, and I had just a small yard with an iron railing gate fence in the backyard, and I just would screw to that iron fence, and that'd make a great counterpoise. And I could get some pretty good DX just with that, just with the screwdriver antenna. Now people use them for their cars, but I use it as a base on occasion. I have a whip that I use, a 7-15-foot whip from MFJ that I kind of have in a counterpoise with a long copper rod in the ground. But I was going to spend some of this weekend cutting some wires and putting out more. Radials. It doesn't work that great. And I only have 3 or 4 radials, so I think maybe I put in 10 or 15. Maybe that'll kind of boost up a little bit. Not that it's ever better than the resonant dipole anyhow, but just for fun, I like to see what it does. Being a ham, that means experimenting around, having some fun with stuff. So sometimes I even put a ham stick, out and mount that in the back and just see what I can get with it. I never got really great with it, but it's just fun to see where you can go. So I'm running 200 now, and that's all I've ever run. So back to you. I think I got your call here somewhere. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor 2 Victor. If I got that right, this is Killer Radio 4 North Carolina. That's KR4NC.
Roger, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor is the call. And, Mike, I think we got you buttoned up there. Sounds pretty good. If you want to hear your radio again, if you go to YouTube and do the call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
All right. Okay. So you run this on YouTube?
Yeah. We record between 3:30 and 5, and then we take the whole thing up, upload to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So you can just go to YouTube, do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you directly to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of a series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings.
Series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings.
All right, I'm going to go now before it has now hit 94 degrees. So I'm out of here. I'm going to go get a nice, cold, icy Diet Coke and sit inside in the air conditioning and just flip on the tube for a little while. I got other stuff to do. So, anyhow, Jim, it's been a great pleasure. It's been kind of a different kind of call for me, and always listen for you again one of these days. And see if doing some of this stuff doesn't improve my signal and my output here. You know, sometimes I put the processor on because people say I sound better when the processor's going, so I don't know. I guess it varies from time to time. So with 94 degrees in my shack right now, I'm out of here at 2038 coordinated universal time, and I'll say 73 to you. This is Profile here, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor 2 Victor. This is KR4NC.
Roger, Roger, Mike. Well, 73 of that way, sir. Your dynamic range is a 3 dB, right on target there. Your curve is up mid-rangey a little bit, but totally articulated, very easily understood. So I would think the difference between when you came in and when you are leaving, I think your audio is much cleaner now, but you be the judge. You check out the recording. So 73 now, and have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. DIG.
There was a DIG or something. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Victor Echo 3 Delta India Golf.
DIG, I remember you from last Friday. What's the name?
Last Friday. What's the name?
Yeah, the name is Caesar. I'm located near Toronto. I'm on a different radio. We spoke, I believe, about a week or so ago. I was on the ICOM 7800, and I'm on a different radio. I'm on a Yaesu FTDX 101 Delta at the moment.
101 Delta?
101 Delta?
Yeah, the new, it's a fairly new radio. Yaesu FTDX 101D, over.
Roger, Roger, Caesar. Well, if you're interested in our setup procedure, first thing, double check to be sure you're in that 100 to 2900 wide transmit band pass.
900 wide transmit band pass?
Yeah, that's what I'm running. I usually run from these radios 100 to 2900. That's what I'm running right now, over.
Roger, Roger. Okay, compressor on at a 3. Compressor processor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how you're labeled.
30 out of 100, depending on how you're labeled.
Okay, so what I see here is the compressor scale is 0 to 30 dB. So we would want basically around 10, is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. 10 is absolute correct.
Is absolutely correct.
Okay, let me just see what I got here. So I'm around audio, about 8 right now. Audio.
All right, is that mid-scale to 2/3?
All right, is that mid-scale to 2/3?
Yeah, basically, that's the compressor we're talking about, right?
Now, well, just leave the compressor on a 10. Now let's move to your AOC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your AOC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Meter is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Audio. Audio. Audio.
Does that look pretty good there, Caesar?
Does that look pretty good there, Caesar?
Yeah. Basically, it's within the ALC 2/3 to a little bit more than 2/3, over.
Roger. Well, don't get too hot. I mean, we want to be mid-scale to 2/3, and the actual sweet spot that we're looking for is absolutely halfway between mid-scale and 2/3. But you just can't camp out on that place. So we say mid-scale to 2/3. So you'll be passing through the perfect area there, Roger.
The perfect area there, Roger.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let me just do it one more time. I'll bring it down a bit. Audio. Okay, very good. So we're about half to 2/3 right now.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to your equalization page. To your EQ page, Roger.
To your EQ page, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. Just to get the menu out here. Yeah, okay, so I'm on the parametric equalizer here, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with the settings here. So I'm on the page right now.
Alrighty, now just tell me just a little bit about your parametric. Can you move the shape of the EQ curve? I mean, not the curve, but the actual. So if I were to say 1 kc, can you give me a 4 shape at 1 kc, or can you move the envelope of the 1 kc equalizer? Or you have strict non-adjustable areas of that EQ as far as the width of the EQ?
Well, we have, there's 3 settings for every frequency, and you can adjust the frequency, the low, the mid, and the high. So the low end, for example, I'm set at 200 hertz, and with a level of -4 and a bandwidth of +2. So those are the 3 settings for each low, mid, and high frequency. Over.
Roger. So what we want is to first be sure that everything between 500 cycles and 1.2K or 1.4K are flat. We want everything between 500 cycles and 1.4K flat. Roger?
K flat. Roger?
Yeah, okay. So, so I'm not, I have to check on how to do that. I mean, it's set up at, my mid is set up at 1,000 hertz, so basically I have to check, but I basically got 200, 1,000, and what do I got here? 20, hold on a sec.
So Caesar, do you copy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to figure something out here. Let's see what kind of numbers we can move here.
All right, so it sounds like you may be just a 3-band parametric EQ. Would that be correct?
Just a 3-band parametric EQ. Would that be correct?
Yeah, Roger. It's a 3-band parametric with some adjustment there on the frequency. Over.
Yes, sir. Okay. So that 1 kc, make that one flat. Flat on the mid-range 1 kc. Flat. Roger?
The mid-range 1 kc. Flat. Roger?
So how do we get it to go flat, Jim? Over?
You should have an adjustment for that. In other words, if you have a movable parametric, you will have a width control that you can make that however wide you want, like 1 to 10 as far as the width, and then there would be a control for the intensity, cut or minus. That would be the one that you would be looking for, and you would want to make that plus or minus 10, or so you can go plus 10 or minus 10. So a flat would be in the middle of that. Roger?
So a flat would be in the middle of that. Roger?
Yeah, okay. So do you want to start off at the 1 kilohertz, or do you want to start off on the low, or you want to set that flat and then we'll work from there?
Now, the first thing, in any time you work on an EQ, you want to be sure that the first thing you want to do is to make sure the mid-range is flat, because an equalizer is designed to balance the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. And if the mid-range is boosted, it's so much harder for the top and bottom to catch up. So when you're doing an equalization, the first thing you want to do is to be sure that that mid-range control is in the flat mode. Roger?
Control is in the flat mode. Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. So basically, I'm looking at my bandwidth on the mid frequency here, on the second on the mid frequency, and so it goes from, I just moved it from 10 to 0. So basically, I had it at 4. So flat would be what, at 0 or 10?
Well, you could be talking about your width. The width of the, parametric. If you had a movable width capability in that parametric, it usually is 0 to 10. So you should have, in the flat mode, it doesn't make any difference what the width is because it's all flat anyway. So how many controls do you have for your mid-range, and how are they labeled?
For your mid-range, and how are they labeled?
Okay, so I have on the equalizer level, I'm at 0 now. I'm moving it up to 10. I'm at 10 now. 0 again here, minus 10, and minus 20. So minus 20, I can hear it on the headset here. That sounds very muddy or down. I don't know. I mean, that could be too much. Now I'm at 0. 0 is what I'm speaking on now, and I'm up plus 10 now. So I went from minus 20 to 0 to plus 10. Those are the extreme, and then the 0 is in between. Over.
Roger that. So that is your cutter boost control there. So you want to put that at 0. Roger, Roger.
You want to put that at 0. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. So we're at 0 right now, and the frequency is set at 1,000 hertz. Over.
I'm sorry, I just messed up my SWR for just a moment. It's back together now. All right, so flat that mid-range, and let's move on. Let's do the top after you verify that mid-range is flat. Roger.
Top. After you verify that mid-range is flat, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, it's 1 kilohertz, and the bandwidth, I guess we will leave out for now.
Yeah, okay, so let's go to the treble EQ, and what does that say as far as the frequency that it's set at?
And what does that say as far as the frequency that it's set at?
Okay, so we're at 2,700 hertz, and the equalizer set at 7, which is on the higher end, closer to 10. So obviously 10 is the highest, we're set at 7. Over.
Roger, so go ahead and take that to 10. Go ahead and take that treble 2.7K control to plus 10. Roger?
7K control to plus 10. Roger?
Yeah, okay, very good. So we're at 10 now. Moved from number 7 setting to 10. We're on 10 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's go to the bottom end now, to your base. And is that setting at 100 cycles?
And is that setting at 100 cycles?
It's set at 200. I'm going to switch it over to 100 right now. So 100 hertz right now. 100 and parametric equalizer level at -4, which is below the flat of 0. Over.
Roger. Okay, bring that up to 0. Bring your base EQ up to 0 level. Roger, Roger. Flat.
Up to 0 level. Roger, Roger. Flat.
Yeah, okay, very good. So we're at flat right now. 0, 0. 100 hertz, 0. That right now. I'm at you.
Alrighty, and so why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, and for about 10 seconds, and let me listen to you that way, Roger.
For about 10 seconds, and let me listen to you that way, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good, Jim. This is 3DIG, run with the Yaesu FTDX-101 valve, taking some audio test, and this radio here has a great receiver. That's one of the best things I've had. Stick receiver. Back to you.
All right, so it sounds pretty good to me. I think what we'll do maybe is get another 10 seconds or 15 seconds of recording. Tell me about the microphone that you're using for about 10 seconds, and let me get another recording on you, Roger.
Let me get another recording on you, Roger.
Okay, very good, Jim. So I'm using the Electro Voice RE27 with this radio. It's a nice microphone. I like the microphone. It's got the 3 different settings on it. I can adjust it, but right now we got everything set to doing some audio testing here with the RE27 and the 101 belt. And the RE27 belt. Back to you.
Roger. Sounds pretty good to me. You be the judge, though. You want to hear your audio. If you go to YouTube and do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. And like I say, I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. Jim, I'm just looking at the settings. So basically, we just, if I'm looking at this correctly, we set everything at hold on a sec here. Just finished. So I got the. Let me just make a change here. Hold on, Jim. I think I screwed up here. There's 2 sets of parametric equalizers. One with the compression and one without. Let me go to the. I adjusted the one without, but I don't think that's going to be affected. Let me just make that quick change on the parametric with the compressor. Is that okay?
Caesar, I think we just do away with that compressor. I don't think you need the compressor, so your settings are correct the way they are, Roger?
Settings are correct the way they are, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. So I have the compressor on now. I mean, so anyway, I just brought it back down to 0. So the low is at 0 where you liked it originally, and and then we bring it to 100 hertz. Is that correct?
Are we talking about EQ? We're talking about compressor. I think we decided that the compressor should be out of the circuit. Do away with the compressor, compressor off. And then all of our EQs we just made were with the compressor off, and I think you said that was the mode that the switch was on for the equalizers to be effective, was with the compressor off. So we should be just perfect the way we were there, Roger.
Perfect the way we were there, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, yeah, no, we've been doing it with the compressor on. I've been testing with the compressor on, but there's settings, there's equalizer settings for both. When the compressor's engaged, there's one set of settings, and then when you turn off the compressor, it follows a separate set of settings, just in case you want to run without it and with it, if you know what I mean. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, let me make it simple. Get the Gorilla Tape out, tape it down exactly the way it is now. Don't worry about this, that, or the other thing. Just tape all this stuff down with Gorilla Tape, Roger. It's perfect.
With Gorilla Tape, Roger. It's perfect.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, that's all I needed to hear, Jim. Thanks for the help. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can hear you on the air again. Have yourself a great weekend. KC9VKV, VE3DIG73, and thanks for the help.
Roger, Caesar, and I've got you up towards Toronto, is that correct?
Got you up towards Toronto, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm about 35 kilometers northwest of the city of Toronto.
All righty, I'm copying you gangbusters on the Milford, PA. You're about like 20 over on Milford, PA, so great job there. We'll be looking, if you get a chance, join us next Friday, Roger.
Get a chance, join us next Friday, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, I do have another radio we can check out, so maybe next Friday I'll see you here, and we can work on that one there. Thanks for your help, 73, my friend. Have yourself a good weekend. KC9VKV, VE3DIG. Bye-bye now.
Roger, Roger, Caesar, 73, sir. And with that, I look and I see by the clock on the wall, there is a dead fly. Ooh. So we got to get out of here. We've enjoyed it. Hopefully you have, if you participated and want to hear your audio. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So, with that, we return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, clear.